Hey peeps, we are back. We're talking the Real Housewives of Orange County, season 17, episode 16, which is the season finale. Hey, before we get into the video, please do me the honors of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content, hitting the thumbs up because that does wonders for my channel, and share. Thanks. All right, so let's go over these reunion looks. Now, I have to say that I wasn't really impressed with these reunion looks. Nothing really stood out as being drop dead gorgeous. But if we had to put them in order, I would say my first choice would be Gina. I didn't really love the spray tan look, but I thought that she was definitely pulled all the way together. Then I would have to say Heather would be my next choice. I don't know why Heather is my next choice, but I liked Heather's dress. I think I would have loved it even more if it was a different color, but I did notice that everyone was wearing spring and colorful, beautiful, happy shades, and she came wearing black. And I think because she just knew that it was not going to be a fun experience. Next, I would have to say Tamara. I don't really love Tamara. I feel like we've seen this dress 1,000 times. I also feel that she's trying to make pink her signature color the way Lisa Vanderpump did, but it's all right. After Tamara, I would have to say Taylor. I love this dress. I love the shoes. I don't really know if I love Taylor in this dress, but I absolutely think this dress is beautiful. Then after Taylor, I would have to go with Emily. Emily looks amazing, and I would just like to say that I have always thought that Emily is a beautiful woman. I don't care what size this woman is. She is gorgeous. Her hair is always a 10. Emily's beautiful. I like this dress. I just don't love it for a reunion. After Emily, I would have to say Shannon. I don't like this look at all. And last but not least is Jen. I don't know what she was going for here. This just looks like she's wearing a bag with really big sleeves. This is terrible. Anyway, you guys, what do you think? Get down in the comments and let me know what you think. Of course, we all know that I have zero fashion sense, so you cannot take my word for it when it comes to fashion, but I didn't love any of these looks, to be honest. They were all just okay. Better luck next season. All right, so on to the show. Now, when the show starts off, we see Shannon. She's at the chiropractor's office, and they show how she allegedly, and I'm saying allegedly, got that bruise on her arm. I remember her mentioning it when they were in Mexico, and I also saw the replay of her allegedly hitting her arm on the boat. But we all saw the way she slid down the boat. She didn't jump in, and I actually didn't see any contact between her elbow and that boat. Anyway, I could have missed it. Maybe I don't have an eagle eye. Get down in the comments, you guys. Did you actually see her elbow and the boat make some sort of contact? I don't know. Anyways, did anybody else notice that when Emily came into the chiropractic center, Shannon said, "Hi, this is my friend Emily," and the doctor said, "Hey, what's up, Em?" You don't know her like that. I am one of those people. If you don't know me like that, refer to me the way you were introduced to me. There's no, "Hey, Em, I don't know you, fella." Anyway, now listen, I'm afraid of chiropractors. I don't know why it is. It's probably because I am completely ignorant about chiropractic medicine. But I've always been afraid that the chiropractor might crack something that's not supposed to be cracked. Or if I go get something cracked, then I'm going to have to go get it cracked on a regular basis. I don't want to be doing all that cracking. So that's why, I'm afraid of chiropractors. And again, it's probably extremely ignorant that I would say that. I'm pretty sure that they know what the hell they're doing. But still, you guys, get in the comments. Do any of you see a chiropractor? Is it regularly? Have they ever cracked anything that shouldn't have been cracked? Just let me know. So I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I am so excited that this is the season finale. I was really annoyed by this entire episode. And it wasn't until maybe the last 7 or 8 minutes of the show that was actually any interest to me. They have been going throughout this entire season doing everything they can to make Heather look like the villain. They spent this entire episode pretty much blaming Heather for every single thing. It's just like she said, she can't win for losing. You know, it's her fault that the sun sets in the OC. It's also her fault that the moon rises in the OC. There is nothing that has happened this season that Heather is not blamed for. And also something else that I noticed, and I'm feeling kind of bad because I think that I'm kind of rude, but for some reason this particular season, Gina's voice has irritated the holy shit out of me. I know it's rude. I have no right to talk about this woman's voice. I'm absolutely positive that my voice irritates people. It really does. But I don't know what it is. Why is it after all the seasons that she's been on this show, currently this season, her voice is bothering me? I don't know what it is. Has it changed? I don't know. Anyway, I feel terrible about it. So Heather and Terry have rented this beautiful home for 6 months because, you know, they're in the middle of the school year. They just sold their house unexpectedly. They just purchased this penthouse in LA. And, you know, their family, their kids, they have to be somewhere. You know, get them somewhere to be. You know, they were staying at a hotel, so this has to be better for them and the kids. Well, Heather and Terry talk a little bit about the situation that happened down in Mexico, and she was saying how hurt she was that Gina just absolutely believed everything that Tamara said. And she doesn't think that her and Gina's friendship is going to make it if Gina is just going to believe this. And Gina is actually in her confessional saying that Tamara doesn't lie. I said, now Gina, wasn't this you?
Why are we all pretending like Tamara's a saint and she's incapable of this kind of bullshit? Like, she's actually pretty known for this kind of bullshit.
So this is how you know that this is manufactured. This is how you know. So earlier in the season, Gina could see clearly through Tamara and her BS. But now that they have all gotten together and decided that it's going to be Heather takedown, now Tamara doesn't lie? What? And, you know, Terry was absolutely right. The head cheerleader is back in town, which is what I said last week. When I said last season, Gina and Emily had their heads so far up Heather's ass, we thought they were going to need the Orange County Fire Department to show up with the jaws of life to pull their heads out of Heather's ass. But now this season, mean girl Tamara, Regina George, is back. And all of a sudden, oh my gosh, we've got to follow Tamara. Oh my gosh. And Heather was right. She said that when Tamara was on the show, when Gina and Emily first got on the show, none of them would speak to Gina and Emily. Vicky wouldn't talk to them. Tamara wouldn't talk to them. Now all of a sudden Tamara's back and everybody's following Tamara's lead. Tamara is one of the most disgusting housewives. I put Tamara right under Lisa Rinna and they want to follow this girl. Come on now. Now I'm saying this again. Now we have said this every season since Gina and Emily have been on the show. And when I say we, I can only speak for myself. You guys have to get in the comments if you agree. But we have said, please don't bring Emily and Gina back. They don't offer much to the show. They really don't. We say this every season, but yet Bravo continues to bring Emily and Gina back, and they don't share much about their own personal struggles. As we seen at the beginning of the season, Emily was trying to tell us about her relationships, the dynamics between her mother, and her sister. And then after 2 episodes of talking about her mom, that all just stopped, completely dropped. We haven't heard another damn thing about her mama. See what I'm saying? Emily is so hell-bent that if Tamara called her a loser, she would have just said it. Tamara would have just told me up front. I mean, Tamara's admitted to calling me other things. Okay, so why is it okay for her to call you a loser, though? But if Heather had called you a loser, it wouldn't be okay. Your feelings would be hurt. You would be agitated. Right now, you're angry and pissed off at Heather for calling you a loser when Heather didn't actually call you a loser. It was Tamara. Then later in the episode at the circus show, you hear Gina tell her it was actually Tamara that called us losers, not Heather. And Emily says, well, I'm used to Tamara calling me names. She's been calling me things for the last 5 years. So why are you angry with Heather? You're pissed off at Heather for saying something she didn't say, but it's perfectly okay with you that, Tamara calls you a loser, because it does come off as if they're afraid of Tamara. It's ridiculous. It comes off to me that they're afraid of Tamara and jealous of Heather. That's what it looks like, in my opinion. Emily also makes some stupid comment that Heather would rather shovel shit than apologize. I'm pretty sure that this season Heather went around apologizing for everything. She went around to each girl apologizing for stuff that she didn't even do. Emily, you are totally confused. Tamara trying to act innocent. Oh my gosh. I never said those things in New York. I don't even know. And if I had said those things in New York, why didn't she bring it to my attention? Why didn't she let me know the next day? Girl, you were wasted. You were saying all kinds of things. That's Tamara laying the groundwork. Just in case it can be proved, which it was, that she called them a loser, now she can say that she did it when she was wasted. Because that's what she usually does. We've seen it even this season. She's talking out of the side of her ass, and then she says whatever it is that she's truly feeling, because you can't tell me that a drunk does not give sober thoughts. She says exactly how she feels, and then the next day, she's like, oh, I don't even remember saying that. Oh my goodness, I was drunk. Oh my goodness, I was drunk. I mean, come on now. Now listen, on a side note, you guys, if you have not been watching Salt Lake City this season, get into it. Okay, they are at season 4 and they have finally hit their stride. I mean, all of these ladies are clocked in and they are earning their paychecks. We are only 4 episodes into this season, and I am more interested and more entertained by the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City than I was the entire season of Atlanta. So if you're not getting into Salt Lake City, give it a chance. It's really good this season. So while the girls are meeting up, Gina texts Heather and asks if they could have a conversation. Terry tells Heather just go into it with an open mind. Heather tells Terry that her mind is halfway closed. She still is pissed off at Gina and how Gina can say that she is a good friend to Heather and that she trusts Tamara over Heather. I'm team Heather. You know what? Gina is lucky to even get this meeting with Heather, because if I was Heather, Gina wouldn't see me. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I wouldn't meet up with any of these ladies. As Lisa Barlow said last season, I'm richer than all of you. I don't need to be here. And that's true for Heather too. She doesn't need to be here. She doesn't need to be on the show or with the group. The show actually came to Heather to ask her to come back. I wouldn't give Gina, Emily, or Shannon, and definitely not Tamara, not a second of my time. Heather needs to pack up her rental home and move her and her family to LA. Tamara getting honored, who cares? Please, they just wanted somebody famous on the cover of that magazine. Talking about the lackluster sex or the lack of sex with her and Eddie, to me that's just her setting up next season where her and Eddie go through problems in their marriage. I don't care, don't need it, don't want to see it. We have a little scene with Jen and Ryan, and frankly, I'm over it. I am. Look, if you want to put up with this shit, you are in love with this gigolo, this admitted cheater, do that. Seriously, be with him. Who cares? I'm tired of seeing Ryan on this show. You know, she's got all these doubts and all he does is give her lip service and she falls for it. She falls for everything this dude says. If you're happy, I'm happy. You know, the fact that we find out that her ex has been taking care of all the finances and she doesn't even have $5,000 so that she could pay for the retainer, that breaks my heart. I realize that sometimes people get into these marriages and the husband is the breadwinner and so the wife just sits back, but in my opinion, I wouldn't do that. I can't live like that. Yes, you make the money, you pay all the bills, but I need to have access to something. I need to have something of my own. There's no reason that she shouldn't have shoebox money. There's no reason that she shouldn't have access to money somehow. And the fact that she's trying to figure out how she's going to come up with the money to pay this retainer. Jen, you are the mother of 5 kids and 85 pets. There's no way that I would be in this situation. I'm just saying. I'm wishing the very best for her. I personally don't think that Ryan is the best for her. I love that she started this business and she is trying to be independent. She deserves so much more than what she's getting. I think she's an amazing mom and a really good person with a soft heart. I want the best for Jen. Ryan is not it. It's going to take her to realize that. We see Shannon sitting down with John Jansen, and of course, as soon as they sit down, they've got to order a drink. That's the thing. Every time we see her and John together, they're drinking. And it's not just one drink. They're usually having multiple drinks. I think that when Shannon checks herself into rehab, she should find out, do they have enough room for John Jansen? Because both of them, in my opinion, have drinking problems. And it's just my opinion. So, allegedly. Then they show this little flashback of Heather sitting down with Shannon. And Heather is explaining herself. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. First of all, I wouldn't have sat down with Shannon. Second of all, I'm not going to explain myself to you. I've already told you. I didn't talk about you and John Jansen. As a matter of fact, I have a lot of shit going on. I don't even give a shit about you and John Jansen. That's what I would have said if I was Heather. And then explaining to her why she didn't tell them about the sale of her house. All of those explanations Shannon would never have gotten. If I would have cared enough to show up to have this conversation with her, I would have lit her ass up verbally, destroyed her, okay? If you would stop drinking so damn much and calling everybody and sharing all your damn information, nobody would know anything about you in this raggedy ass relationship with John Jansen. Get over yourself. I'm sick of it. I mean, seriously, don't you have somewhere to be? Don't you have a house to feng shui? Get the hell out of here. I thought it was hilarious that her and John are sitting down planning the future, knowing 2 days after the season wraps, he was breaking up with her. John Jansen was never into this relationship. She's going to get mad at Heather saying maybe she's not all in. John Jansen is not in, wasn't in, isn't going to be in. I mean, come on, get the hell out of here. I'm sick of Shannon and John Jansen. And this is so crazy because I adore Shannon Bedore. I came into this season thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see Shannon storms Bedore. Then we see this. All she cares about is, Tamara's my friend. Tamara is really your enemy. You've seen the way she treated Jen right in your face while she's saying that Jen is her friend. You've seen the way she's treated you in your face and behind your back. And Tamara's my friend. Girl, grow the fuck up. I'm just saying. And you know what? I just don't even give a shit about this whole colonic at home thing. The Citalonic. Who the hell is buying that? Get down in the comments right now if you are thinking about buying Shannon and Dr. Moon's Citalonic. No, ma'am. I mean, come on. Now, for a minute there, Jen jumped on the bandwagon talking a little shit about Heather. And I said, wait a minute. Wasn't it you last week who was on social media saying how sorry you were that you weren't there for Heather? You're doing too much. You're going to sit there with Tamara, who has treated you like shit all season, and jump on the bandwagon and talking bad about Heather? I was confused. Jen, what the hell is going on? Now, when Heather shows up to meet with Gina, Heather is playing no games. She is not here for the bullshit at all. She is ticked. Gina, girl, just sit back and shut the hell up with that I've been a good friend to you. And Heather looks at her, and I'm paraphrasing. She says, I can't really tell. Seriously, when have you been a good friend for me? All season. You know, back when they were in Wyoming or wherever, she did try to warn Heather about Tamara, but that was the only time she was a good friend to Heather. And Heather didn't see it at the time. When she plays the recording of the podcast and Teddy says that Tamara called all of them losers, Gina still had attitude. She said, well, even if you didn't say it, when you heard somebody else had called me a loser, you should have told me. Gina, what the fuck? Seriously? Really? At that moment, I would have grabbed my purse and left. Gina would have never heard from me again. Then Gina makes the comment that when Tamara said it, she's sure she didn't mean it in a malicious way. Okay, so now you're making more excuses for Tamara. If Tamara said it, she didn't mean it in a malicious way. But if Heather said it, she did. What is this about? Really? Gina, turn your brain all the way on. So when they get to this circus party, which I thought that Gina did a great job, this circus party was really nice. She did a good job. When they get to this circus party, Gina tells Emily that she thinks that she's really been going too hard on Heather and that she doesn't believe that Heather called them a loser. Then all of a sudden, Emily, oh, she's drinking the Kool-Aid. No, you have drinking Tamara's Kool-Aid. That's what's happened. And Heather is no fool. You know, at some point she told Gina, when are you guys going to realize that Tamara is the cause of all of this? Tamara is the one who came in and started all of this. She ruined my relationships with all of you because she's coming in and she's making things up or she's taking things out of context and all of you are believing it. You're all playing follow the leader at your big ages. I don't understand this. I do love how production highlighted all of Tamara's mess. Shannon shows up as Madame Bador. I said, girl, don't you wish you could have read your own damn future? Anyway, Emily says that Shannon's outfit is something she probably would wear on a regular basis, and I have to agree. You know, listen, the episode just goes on and on with Tamara trying to prove that Heather's this horrible person. But the truth is, I think that Tamara is just extremely jealous of Heather. I think she's upset because Heather is richer than her. She has a successful marriage. She's got businesses and her kids adore her. You know, I think she's just upset that she doesn't have Heather's life. Emily does at some point have a conversation with Heather, and this is more of an Emily problem. I think that deep down inside, Emily feels less than. I think that she feels that she has to prove herself to people, and when she thought that Heather called her a loser, it hurt her feelings so bad that she just got angry. But she didn't care when Tamara said it. And I think the reason she didn't care when Tamara said it is because she thinks that she's better than Tamara. But she doesn't think she's better than Heather. Does that make sense? I don't know. But Emily, come on. You're fine the way you are. And it doesn't matter if any of them would have called you a loser. Just move on. You are living your life. You're a lawyer. You've passed the bar twice. Go on with yourself. Who cares if one of these ladies said that you were a loser? If you know you're not a loser, who cares? You know, throughout this episode, you could see that Tamara really thought that this party was going to happen and all the girls were going to get together and they were just going to demolish Heather. But it didn't happen. And she was getting madder and madder as the party continued because all the ladies started pulling Heather to the side, having conversations and making up. Even though Tamara tried to sell it as Heather was gathering the troops and pulling everybody to the side to talk to them. No, they were pulling her to the side to talk to her. Also, at one point, Heather told Emily or Gina, she told somebody that Tamara was doubting that she was an actual lawyer and saying that she was a party planner. And they showed it. There was a flashback. She actually said that. And she tried to say that that's not true. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You know, acting childish and turning around in circles and throwing her hands up in the air. She was wearing the appropriate costume because this woman is a pure clown. Anyway, there's this podcast that she did at some point, and the guy who does the podcast posted, apparently on tonight's episode, it's revealed that Tamara told Heather that Emily's not a real attorney. Tamara denies it. This is a message I got from Tamara in 2021. And then he shows a clip from the text message. And it says, between me and you, do you really think she's a practicing lawyer? Jealousy. Tamara is jealous of Emily. Shannon also makes some kind of comment about what positive was going to come out of Heather telling Emily that somebody was talking crap about her and Gina at BravoCon. But at the same time, why didn't you ask yourself what positive was going to come out of Tamara constantly talking bad about Heather or going around telling everybody stuff about your relationship? Think about it. And didn't anybody else think too, wasn't it weird that Tamara came right in, and the two people that she attacked the most was Heather and Jen. First of all, Heather was pretty much the queen of the show, and Tamara wanted to take her down. And then Jen was brand new, and people were liking her, and she wanted to take that down because nobody cares, Tamara. Now, honey, listen, Taylor, girl, I was disgusted by Taylor. I really was. She was drunk, slurring, looking ridiculous, and acting a complete fool. And Heather's impersonation of Taylor was spot on.
Oh, right. Listen, we didn't go dancing because you went to get your soup and you didn't come back. And?
If Heather came to you and Jen's suite and she was devastated, she was talking to you guys, you were comforting her, she was comforting you, and then she said, I'm going to go get my soup and I'll be back. When she didn't come back, as a grown-up, you have a couple of options. One, you can just sit there like an idiot and wait, or two, you could go over to her room or call her room and check on her. Or three, you could just send her a little text and say, hey, you didn't come back, hope all is well, we're going to go ahead and go out. But instead, you're going to stay in. Then you're going to act like a complete idiot. My stepdaughter was waiting for us, but you didn't come back. And Heather says, I was asleep. Well, you should have called us. She was asleep.
My stepdaughter was waiting for us. I fell asleep. It's silly, Taylor. Well, when you laid down, maybe you should have thought, maybe I should text my friends. Okay. I'm very sorry. Let's listen. What is wrong with her?
I mean, girl, bye. And then Taylor screaming that she's got rich friends in Beverly Hills. That's the thing, though. You're not rich, and you're not in Beverly Hills. And you're not even a housewife. You're a friend of. Go to fuck on. Tamara's a toxic woman. She gets all up in Heather's face thinking that she is about to do what? I have no idea. But Heather paid her dust. She paid Taylor dust. She wrapped up the friendship with Jen and moved on about her business. One thing that Gina got right is when Terry went over there and said, can you go over and, help my wife out? She said, your wife is extremely capable. Absolutely. Tamara wanted to get some action. She wanted for Heather to lose her cool and freak out on her, but she did not. Heather keeps it classy all the time. And when she was on Watch What Happens Live, Andy asked her, was she serious when she was in Mexico? And she said she quit. She's done with the show. And she said, yes, in that moment, she was absolutely done. But I think she's changed her mind and she'll be back next season. I'm glad she's coming back next season. And I hope that next season, if Tamara, Emily, and Gina have not switched up and changed their behavior, I hope that it is the Heather and Vicky become friends and take them down. I really do. I'm sick of them. Anyway, you guys, get down in the comments and let me know what you think. And until next time, bye.